Hey, do you teach yoga? Have you ever trained to lead yoga classes, to be a yoga therapist? Have you ever owned a yoga studio? Maybe even just wondered what it was like for the women and men up there in front of the room on their mats, leading you through endless Surya Namaskars, down dogs, and pranayamas galore? Well, these are their stories, and mine. I'm Rebecca Sebastian, a 20-year yoga teacher, 10-year yoga therapist, yoga studio owner, and co-founder of a yoga-focused nonprofit. I've done a lot in the yoga world over the last 20 years, pretty much everything except had a water cooler. You know, a place to share stories, talk about struggles, successes, and find other people who do the same thing that I do. Welcome to Working in Yoga, a podcast and substitute water cooler for yoga folks to connect and build community, to share our unique profession, our challenges, and our journeys with the world.
Hey friends, welcome to Working in Yoga. This week I'm here solo talking about something I've been working on behind the scenes and what it means for me and for all of us. Before I started this podcast, I longed for a place where I could talk shop with friends who were also teaching yoga or practicing as yoga therapists. For a while, locally, I had a good group of people to chat with. But what I quickly discovered was that I was way more into the conversations about the industry than they were. It felt like being at a party where you're almost like the most excited person in the room. You know, like everybody else is happy to exchange pleasantries and head home, while you're ready to talk about life until dawn and dig into the nature of existence and trade stories about childhood stuffed animals. Now, it's fun, but also a little awkward. Like, maybe you should tone yourself down a little bit. That's how I felt in my yoga circles. Folks were interested, but mostly in things like how a neighboring yoga studio was appropriating their ideas or how to cue Trikonasana in a fresh way. Those are valuable conversations, yes, but I wanted to talk about us, why we chose this path, how we saw the industry evolving, and what assumptions we might want to challenge. Something I've noticed again and again is how cliquey the yoga space can be. It's long been about who you know. Want your voice heard? Well, you better hope you've got a connection with someone who has influence, or at least a friend who once practiced where Madonna did in 1997. So I built this podcast for the rest of us, to talk shop, to have real industry conversations, to shine a light on the behind-the-scenes work that keeps this profession running. And now I've got something new, a way for us to level up, to stand fully in our careers, and to see this profession with more seriousness and possibility. But before I tell you what it is, I want to say thank you to Offering Tree for sponsoring this podcast. Offering Tree, y'all make it possible for me to do this work, and Offering Tree's software makes it easier for yoga professionals to do theirs. And that's a big deal, so thank you. Also, if you haven't already, hit subscribe wherever you're listening, and those clicks help more people find us in this community. And if you want to go deeper, and I send out a monthly newsletter with podcast updates. This month, I've added something new, a yoga-themed puzzle that I got to build, inspired by the New York Times Connections game, alongside an article about the brand new American Yoga Council and their launch event that happened in September. So sign up at the link in the show notes, where you'll also find a discount from Offering Tree for Working in Yoga listeners. Okay, let's talk about it. My new project. My new project is going to be a digital magazine called Inside Yoga. Now, I have been hosting these conversations since 2021, and what I've learned is that so many of us are ready to level up. We've been in yoga for years, whether it's 4 or 15 or 35 years, and we're still asking what's next. How do we share yoga in meaningful ways while also sustaining ourselves and our families? The podcast has been like our water cooler, a place for camaraderie and connection, but I also want us to go further, to take our work seriously, not just our practice. Because let's be real, outside the yoga space, we are often seen as flaky or unreliable. People often don't understand what we do or how we're going to show up, And sometimes, let's be honest, we've earned that reputation. And I say that as somebody who's definitely employed folks who have showed up barefoot, smelled strongly of patchouli. I love them, but still. This new digital magazine will be a trade publication for yoga professionals, a place to elevate the profession, and it won't belong to any one organization. It will be ours, the people who actually work in yoga. A place where we can talk honestly about what we need, where we excel, and where we want to grow. I want this to be something we aspire to, unapologetically professional, but never sterile. Because we don't have to fit into just one mold. We're not only tie-dyed, stretchy pants and bare feet at the beach, and we're also not only in lab coats or business suits. We're something in between, and most often we're a little bit of both. And woven through all of that is this love we all have for counterculture. Yoga has always carried a spirit of resistance, of going against the grain and questioning the norms, from its roots to today. It's been about carving out new ways of thinking and being. This magazine is a way to hold that spirit close, while also giving ourselves the tools and the professionalism to level up and take our place in the larger conversation. That's what this magazine is about. Leveling up, talking shop, and creating a space to do things like review books in full and discuss current industry trends and connect with one another in a more serious and sustainable way. So here's the big news. Our first issue of Inside Yoga launches this year in November with the theme New Beginnings, and it will be issue 0. This issue will feature some thoughtful articles and industry insights and contributions from people who, like you, are building their lives and careers in yoga. It's designed to spark conversation, offer perspective, and give us the professional home that we've been missing. And here's where you come in. This isn't just my project, it's yours and ours together. There are a few ways that you can join in. First, you can subscribe to my newsletter so you don't miss the announcement of issue 0. Next, you can share that you're excited about the magazine with colleagues and teachers and therapists and trainers and anyone else you know who's working in yoga. You can pitch an idea to me. If you've got a story to tell or an article to write or a perspective that the yoga industry needs to hear, I want to hear from you. And finally, you can spread the word. Talk about the magazine and that it's coming in your trainings and studios and communities, because the more of us that are involved, the stronger we'll be. You'll find the newsletter subscription link, submission info, and all the details in the show notes of this podcast. Friends, I started this podcast because I wanted real conversations about working in yoga. And this magazine is the next step on that journey. I'm thrilled to build it alongside you. So let's do it together. Let's level up the profession and talk shop and create a yoga industry that we can all be proud of. Because remember, nobody's coming to save us. So we need to choose each other so that we can build what we want to see in the world ourselves. As always, I'm so grateful that you spent your time and attention with me today. I can't wait to build this project with you. Now let's go get to work, my friends, and I will catch you around the water cooler next time.